So I love these Clippers topics because I love just kind of talking to you about something you are passionate about. That's what makes sports great.
Yes.
Kawhi Leonard is under more pressure tonight, big dog. And
Interesting.
Kawhi is under more pressure to me because pressure always has a direct correlation to expectation. We've had this conversation several times on this show.
I'm with you.
The more you are expected of something, the more pressure you are under. You just joked, and I appreciate the joke for another day or two, Acho. If y'all ain't watched the show yesterday, your boy, by the grace of God, won a sports semi. I was under pressure to win it. Why was I under pressure to win it? I'll be honest with you.
Oh, there we go. The truth.
Because everybody was like, Acho, you better win. You the favorite. Like, Acho, you the one who had the whole uncomfortable conversations. You the one that got a best-selling book. You the one that got these 80 million views. You better win.
Like
so
that?
now I would look at people and be like, yeah, I'm going to win. Yeah, I'm sure I'm going to win it. Oh, God. Bro, I had so much pressure to win because the expectation for me to win was incredibly high. Other people didn't really have the same expectations to win. Some were just happy to be there. But, like, I'm the one who's friends with Oprah. Like, so now I'm like, oh, God, I got to win. And if I hadn't won, woo, that would have been a huge letdown because so many people put pressure on me because I had higher expectations based upon my previous performance. Kawhi Leonard has higher expectations based upon his previous performance. Thus, he has a lot more pressure to win. Kawhi Leonard came to the Clippers to see if he could do it again. Paul George came to the Clippers to see if he could do it. There's a difference. See, Kawhi had already done it in San Antonio. He had already done it in Toronto. Now he's coming to the Clippers to try to do it for the third time. Third time's the charm, right? Third one's supposed to be the closer.
That's it.
Paul George, he hadn't done it in OKC, hadn't done it in Indiana. So now he's coming to LA to team up with Kawhi to see if he can do it at all. So everyone is looking at Kawhi like, all right, big dog, it's your team. You the man. We've seen you be the man. Finals MVP, not once but twice. Paul George, good player. Great player, some would argue, but Kawhi, you the man. What's up? So as I look at it, Sel, Kawhi is under significantly more pressure because he has more expectations.
Okay. Well, you know I disagree with you. Anytime I'm just sitting there kind of quiet, I'm just loading up ammunition.
Just right. These are counterpoints.
Just right. Great take. You ain't calling any favors, Oprah? Oprah, make sure this pressure is real and it delivers. No, I know you didn't do that. But I'm going with Paul George. I'm going with someone else than Kawhi Leonard, the favorite. Acho, the favorite. Who's Paul George of your group in the Emmys? Malika?
Honestly, Malika should have got me.
Oh, Malika should have got you. She should have got you, yeah.
Shout out to my dog, Hawk.
Okay. You gonna name them all now so you're going to be friends with everybody? Some of them didn't qualify. You said one of them was just lucky to be there, happy to be there. I ain't going to call him out, but I know who it is. So Malik Andrews, oh, man. Paul George. Did Paul George give himself a nickname? He did, right? Playoff P. All of a sudden, he took that, embraced it. I'm Playoff P. My grandmother always says, don't call for attention because you can never hang up. Here's the thing. He called for attention. Playoff P. Okay. We looking now. Playoff P all the time. And there's no shot at him. There's no shot at Malik Andrews. She had a nickname, too. Mass Malika. Remember in the bubble?
Hey, Malika Andrews did her thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Malik.
That's right.
Malika, you real.
That's right. And that's why I'm voting for her and I'm voting for Paul George in this one right now, damn it. Under more pressure. Look, if you're Paul George, you give yourself that nickname, you call for attention, you go out there and you peacock this moment, bright colors, hey, I'm here. Okay, we looking. We want to see it. Now have we seen it in consistency? You know why there's no pressure on Kawhi Leonard? Because he's already done it. Even if you try to clown, say, you can't do it with the Clippers, he's like, but I done did it before. I went to an organization that never won a championship ever. I played 1 year, one and done, and this ain't college basketball, one and done in Toronto and got him a chip. Also won one in San Antonio. So no matter what you say to Kawhi Leonard, he'll be like, I already did it. So it's funny with Kevin Durant, you make this argument,
yes,
I'm going to use it in this situation. You continue to move the goalposts, but he hasn't done it without an all-star, without an MVP,
former MVP. Yes, sir.
Without a two-time. You keep moving the goalposts. But you look at Kawhi Leonard, where you going to move him? He like, I did that. Oh, you did it when you were part of the big three. You weren't even the biggest of the three. Okay, so I go to Toronto. What you going to say now? Oh, well, you had, what would I have? Because I got it right now with Paul George, and no one's looking at Paul George in the same respect. Here's the thing about it. Paul George, you pulled the gun out. Where I'm from, they say don't pull it out unless you're going to use it.
That's real, big dog.
And
That's
he
real.
pulled out, I am a playoff player. Well, then, let's see it.
I love this because we actually naturally drastically disagree. Because, Sel, I don't think Paul George's legacy, I don't think Kawhi Leonard's legacy is under more pressure than Paul George. But when you talk about who's under more pressure, pressure's outside forces affecting the internal.
Okay.
Right? Kawhi Leonard has to be under more pressure for actually the same logic you're saying.
Let's see.
He's already done it. So I know what you are capable of. You are better, Kawhi Leonard, than Paul George is.
Yeah.
So I expect significantly more out of you than I expect out of Paul George. You, Kawhi Leonard, shot 60% from the field for the first time in a playoff series since Shaquille O'Neal in 2000. You, Kawhi Leonard, have shown us your greatness. I showed y'all yesterday where Paul George ranks amongst the stars, players currently in the playoffs scoring 20 points or more. Pull up the full screen. Because you, Kawhi Leonard, are first in field goal percentage amongst all the players remaining that score more than 20 points. And Paul George is last. I know who Paul George is. Now, I also know who I wanted Paul George to be, but I know who Paul George is. Paul George is a some star. He's a star some of the time. You, Kawhi Leonard, are an all-star. You are a star all of the time. Because we know exactly who Kawhi Leonard is and who Paul George is, PG ain't under the same pressure as Kawhi. Because if PG goes 4 for 17, we're just going to be like, here go playoff P, pandemic Paul. But if Kawhi Leonard goes 4 from 17, we're going to be like, huh? We didn't bring you here for this. Last thing I'm going to say on my second lap is Kawhi Leonard said he was going to go to L.A. if he could orchestrate someone else going there with him.
Yeah.
Kawhi goes to L.A., and Kawhi brings in PG in so many ways. L.A. forfeits a whole bunch of future capital for Paul George. You, Kawhi Leonard, put this together. So if we are going to blame LeBron James for the Lakers' shortcomings because LeBron is not only the star, but he also put together the team, then how dare we turn a blind eye to Kawhi Leonard, who is also the star, and put together the other star player, just like LeBron James did. Because of that reason and how we've also called it in the past, Kawhi Leonard's under way more pressure.
Nah, it's not analogous. LeBron and Kawhi are not the same. LeBron's not in his prime anymore. Kawhi is. So think about that. So we know that you can do it and you're in your prime. So anytime you don't do it, we don't look at you because we know you balling. You already read off some of the stats. Let's read off some more of the positive stats. Kawhi is 5th in points per game in the playoffs, 3rd amongst players still alive playing right now. You put up on that chart, he's top dog.
Yes, sir.
So when we see Kawhi, we already know he is the main ingredient for a championship team.
Yes, sir.
So if there's not a championship team, maybe something wrong with the other ingredients. I give it to you like this. Kyle Lowry comes to mind when I think of Paul George. Basically, this is the high jump. This is the threshold. Paul George, are you as good as Kyle Lowry? Yeah, I am. I'm playoff P. Well, if you are, how come you and Kawhi can't add to a championship like Kyle Lowry and Kawhi did? That's pressure on you because the only one that is common in that situation is Kawhi. Now, who's not common? Playoff P. If you're going to get him over the hump, like Kyle Lowry got him over the hump because Kawhi's in the building, well, then you got to be at least as good as Kyle Lowry. Who's better in basketball, Kyle Lowry or Paul George?
We want to say Paul George,
No. We get paid to say what we believe.
I'd rather have Kyle Lowry.
You damn lie.
Over the last 3 years?
Look, you take Kyle Lowry because he won a championship, but you're not going to take him in one-on-one basketball.
No, not in one-on-one.
Or team building basketball. On team building basketball.
And team I would. And team I would because you know we talk about this all the time, Sel. Leadership. Leadership matters.
That's how you draft first?
Leadership.
You draft the best leader?
If you already got talent, what else you need, big dog? You got talent. You got Kawhi.
Hold on. I'm saying if I'm building this team right now, I don't know the results yet. So you're already working with some
with knowledge.
You're already working with that knowledge.
Correct.
So you're going to say Kyle Lowry because he did it.
Yes.
But I'm not. Paul George is better than Kyle
He's more
Lowry.
talented, yes.
And better. Okay, yeah, talented and better. Everything you want to say. I love you, Kyle Lowry. This is no shot. Paul George, you need to finish the deal so you won't go down in legacy less than Kyle Lowry because that championship ring matters. That's the problem right here. Paul George eliminated first round of the playoffs 5 times in his career. Why is there more pressure on him? Because he has to change that. They brought in a Batman, and they said his name is Kawhi Leonard. How come you can't do the same thing as this Batman has done not one, but 2 other places? It's not because of Batman.
You know what?
It's because you really ain't Robin.